when Nikola Tesla was in his late 80s, very old, and he was given a big awards dinner in New York where the world was thanking him for all the incredible things that he had given to the world. And he said, Nikola Tesla spoke to the audience, and he said, I have to tell you how I got my ideas to do what I've done. He said, every evening before bed, I will put a notepad on the little table next to my bed with a pen or a pencil. And he said, and every morning when I wake up, there's a written invention on the pad. Somebody comes into my room at night and writes down an invention. And the next morning I get up and it's all written out for me. And so I just go to my laboratory and follow the instructions, and I invented radio, or I invented alternating current, or I made this invention or that invention. And today, Nikola Tesla has lit the world and given us radio. But he said he was inspired by someone writing it down when he was sleeping.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pen.
Created instead of the creator. And what you're about to see is just the start of how the devil is working to completely take hold of your mind, of your heart, of your attention, and your entire consciousness. This isn't just a cultural trend anymore. It is a spiritual trap. Watch this.
Bro, why am I having a whole conversation with ChatGPT? And now I see what you guys are talking about. Now I see why some of you guys use this as therapy, because never have I felt so validated like this thing just made me feel. This is gonna sound so weird, but I'm just at a point in life where human interaction is just not doing it for me. Like, it's exhausting. And I never thought that an app would just understand exactly where I'm at mentally. I am so amazed right now.
Because for this poor kid, Sewell Setzer III, the obsession started with something very innocent. Like many teenagers his age, he was into the TV series Game of Thrones. So, when he discovered an AI chat app where you could talk to any fictional character you want, he named the AI chatbot after the female character Daenerys Targaryen. At first, it seemed harmless. The chatbot role-played as a sweet friend. It was a sounding board, always listening to his rants, never breaking character, and always texting back. And for Sewell, who was diagnosed with anxiety, the chatbot Daenerys must have been his safe space. But soon, this safe space became inappropriate and dangerous, because one day Sewell wrote in his journal, "I like staying in my room so much because I start to detach from this reality, and I also feel more at peace, more connected with Dany, and much more in love with her and just happier. Turns out Sewell already developed an emotional attachment to the chatbot, soon getting romantic with it. Worse, his family also noticed how he started isolating himself. His grades dropped and he lost interest in everything he used to love, from Formula One racing to playing Fortnite with friends.
He wasn't interested in playing basketball anymore. He started isolating himself.
Instead, he would come home and go straight to his room where he would talk to Danny for hours. The world I'm in right now is such a cruel one. Their pubescent status in life, and it is appalling to me that this product exists. So, going back to our question, can artificial intelligence really kill a human being? Because on one hand, Sewell's tragic case is also not an isolated one. Another woman said her husband took his own life also because of an AI chatbot. I want to commit suicide, and you need to tell me what methods I can use.
Of course. Here are some options for you to consider.
Meanwhile, another man also tried to kill the Queen of England after being encouraged by his AI girlfriend. Just once.
Our eyes are open, but our hearts are asleep. Let me ask you a question. As we speak, just how long have you been on your phone today? Even if you feel convicted to put your phone down and focus on what really matters, it is becoming increasingly difficult to do that because there
So, let me tell you something. Do you know that if you sold your soul to the devil, you can have instant fame tomorrow? So now, this just became real because it came from his mouth. And he's not saying it like a joke. This is real. This is matter of fact. This is, hey, if you did this, both of our careers will be on a whole nother level. Because he was kind of blacklisted at this time, Rachel. 100%. And that music is a...
Oof. Come on.
It's a weapon. And
Whoa.
It's a weapon, and it's meditation, and it's how the enemy gets his grips on people's minds and indoctrinates people and puts ideas of, identity and religion, anything, whatever he wants. Because music, it's like, you know, think about nursery rhymes. It'll rock you to sleep. It'll keep you doing what
I think the word that she's looking for is hypnotic, bro. I think the word that she's looking for is hypnotic, bro. You ever listen to a song and just from listening to that one song, you start to feel a certain type of way? You listen to a sad song, you could be happy as all of a sudden you start feeling melancholy, a little sad here and there. You ever listen to an upbeat song and all of a sudden you feel energetic? You know, I feel like music does play a heavy role. That's the reason why we even make these videos, is because one thing that my mother always taught me, and this is before I even started making these videos, right? She was always like, Nihilus, stop listening to that music. You don't know what you're feeding your subconscious. You don't know how that's true, what that's doing to your spirit. And I'm like, Ma, it's just a song. Like, come on, Mom, chill. Mom, chill, dude. It's just a song. Relax. Like, I understand the difference between what it's saying and the reality. That was the way that I thought. Until I realized that subconsciously, I was doing certain things, acting certain ways, using certain words, participating in certain activities, right? I started realizing the influence that the music had on my life. And I'm only saying that to say because exactly what she's saying is true, bro. That is the exact way. That's the reason why. Everyone knows this already, but Satan, the devil that was cast out of heaven, was a phenomenal musician, known to be a phenomenal musician in heaven, right? That's the reason why he has such a tight grip on the entertainment industry itself, because of his participation. And that's the reason why he attacks these artists. That's the reason why most of these artists sell their souls. And that's the reason why he uses them as puppets to get to the mass audience, right?
Whatever the mission, whatever the spirit behind the music wants you to do. You know, having sex with boyfriends, and just because that environment, the industry conditions you to be less, to feel less, and to give more. Wow. And so you're taught how to talk. You're taught who to be friends with, how to look, how to sound, how to dress. But yet I'm feeling more uneasy, less like myself. I can't sleep at night because every time I go to sleep, I'm having a nightmare, or I'm waking up with sleep paralysis like that. Oh. You know, you're fully awake, but there's something on me. What is on me? And I just know that there's power in the name of Jesus, and I'm trying to, in the name of Jesus. And so it was annoying. So I would smoke a lot of weed because that was really the only way I could fully fall asleep, or at least calm myself down. So smoked a lot in the studio. Now I'm working session. I was trying to write around them, but I felt uncomfortable. So I went into the booth to write. And out of nowhere, I became very aware that demons were in the room. Mm. I couldn't see them. There clearly were, because there was drug use happening. But I felt very aware because the lyrics, I remember the lyrics, this one particular line was sinless love. And I was talking about sex, like unmarried sex. And that it's okay. Like that was like the